And how much will that tell us about what to expect if we get a similar result when Canada and the Iroquois meet?
Which will be about 24 hours from right now. And circle that one, folks. You do not want to miss Iroquois Canada tomorrow at 7:30 Pacific time. Officials right off the top, Steven Stamp, you want to get those in? I see Nick Thomas down there. I believe Brett Colomb as well.
Brent Colomb is the standby official on the sheet, so we've got Blair Ferguson and Paul Quill, along with Nick Thomas as the head official.
All right, teams are at center and set to go. As this is my first look at England. Well, I've watched them play, but I haven't called a game for England. You have already. I've seen the Nationals on day one, so good to learn some names and numbers here for the three lines. As Jeremy Thompson set to face off against Tim Roach. And blow the whistle. Well, you got to wait for them to blow the whistle, JT, as England will get first possession here on an early move from Thompson.
I like the way you shifted sideways on that one.
Got to think on your feet, man.
There you go.
So England with the first possession here as they'll start in. This is Lyndon Bunyo, an Alberta product that plays his summer ball for the New Westminster Salmon Bellies. And right on the cusp, I believe, Stephen, of making a National Lacrosse League roster in the coming years.
I think he is. He had an outstanding combine when he went to Oakville a couple of years ago. Really impressed, got some attention there, and has a lot of talent. And he showed against Canada that he has a lot of grit as well. He was really working through checks.
Kyle Jackson tried to stick one low on Chiliano and makes his first stop as we do have some First Nations drums in the crowd. Much to my delight, love to hear the drums banging during a lacrosse game.
Last night,
Carson Tarbell on the turnover. He's going to get a breakaway, and Chiliano turns him aside with a stick side glove stop.
Jason Tarbell had a goal added to his record today as World Lacrosse went back and reviewed last night's game. For some reason, the goal that he dropped into the empty net with about half a second to go wasn't included on the score sheet or up on the scoreboard. It was added today.
Probably wasn't necessary for him to pop that one in at the expiration of that game, but nonetheless, it'll be added to the national stats and Tarbell's, who I've also been extremely impressed with in this tournament.
Yeah, he is quite a good player.
High draft pick for the Georgia Swarm. As a drive low there from Kai Jeffries as he'll run out of time on the shot clock. A minute and a half in, scoreless between the Iroquois Nationals and Team England.
Tarbell making the pass again there, and a very solid rookie season with the Six Nations Chiefs this summer.
On comes Cody Jamieson, who captains the Nationals here in 2019. Was one of the youngest members back in 07, now one of the elder statesmen here for the team this year. There's a wicked shot there as Zed Williams draws into the lineup for his first action. As we've maybe seen the two goals of the tournament scored here by both Iroquois Nationals. Kyle Jackson on day one and Dahoga Nanakok last night with an absolute spectacular effort in transition.
Yeah, very different goals, right? The Dahoga on the run, full speed. Jackson slicing through traffic and just reaching across with that one-hander. Both one-handers, though.
Yes, indeed. Here's Bunyo trying to get inside with two hands. Gets the shot off. Thompson the loose ball. Up ahead it comes here to three-time Man-Cup champion Thomas Hoger. They'll bounce it back to Randy Stotts. And just the one Stotts brother as Austin still recovering from injury. As Nanakok in. And a blazing speed there. Just a blur right down the pipe. And put it wide as he joined the Nationals after day two as well. Maybe looking as fit as I've ever seen Dahoga as well.
Yeah, which has been a bit of a knock, right?
Always a
strength.
thicker player, right?
Yep.
He's always been in great shape, but he's been a heavier, thicker kind of a body. And I think losing a bit of weight, he's always been in great shape, but I think losing some weight has made him a much more effective player because now he can burn you on the speed game as well. Yeah, he's always going to have that power in his body.
The first couple steps have really picked up.
Chance here for the Iroquois. In comes Goodwin, scores. Brandon Goodwin in transition. And this might be the way that the Nationals are going to give themselves a chance against Canada here, assuming everything goes according to plan to Stamper, is their transition game, to how quick the Iroquois Nationals are to get up the floor. And Brandon Goodwin putting that on display right there.
Yeah, we talked in the previous game when Canada was playing, you were saying, is that the one thing that's not going well for Canada, the transition? And they've had some chances. They've done a few things. They sat out Zach Courier tonight. One assumes he'll be back in. and he is one of their key transition players. But they do have guys who can get up the floor, but the Iroquois may be a little bit better equipped in that area that we've seen so far.
And it's not like Canada is needed to be all that effective in transition with the amount of firepower they have up front anyway, but just looking to nitpick a little bit. Wide open in front, Bowhunter. Here's Hogarth on the follow-up, and he's stopped there by Chiliano.
Well, Galiat Bowhunter, the son of Kurt Stiers, playing in this game.
And there's a shot from Stotts into the short side, 2-0 Iroquois.
And away from the play, Cody Jamieson just took a face full of stick and is not too happy about it, looking around, wondering what exactly is going on.
Well, let's watch 88. He's got the ball here. Watch him after the pass. Just, I don't think we'll get it in that shot there. I can tell you, Jammer's taking worse shots than there.
There you see it, just at the edge of the screen. He has, and he's popped up from them, but still, you never like to have your helmet twisted around your head like that.
No. Unless you have some serious mental issues. There's Bomber. As the drums start to bang away again. Jamieson. I mean, just adds to the atmosphere when you got the drum. Kick stop there from Chiliano. I love listening to the drums while the game is played. Bomberry to Zed Williams. Had to reach out for that one as Rowe runs Williams hard into the corner boards. Somehow gets a pass off to Jamieson, and Chiliano stretching out makes a miraculous stop.
I love the drums too, and we might have a break. No, they're going to slow down. So I love the drums too. And last night they had the rhythm going, and as the intensity picked up late in the game, the drums picked up their pace. It was like
how it works.
Yeah, it was like the soundtrack of the game, and it was sensational.
This is Nate Clare. Can't get around and tries to dunk, and it's in. What an effort from Nate Clare to get England on the board. It's 2-1.
One of the Clare brothers showing some hops there. Last night Sam really took up the reins and played great, but here is Nate Clare showing his speed and ducking between the official and the crease. Yeah, so getting away from the defenders and the refs there.
That's pretty good defense there from Ty Logan.
Yeah.
If you're going to get scored on from that area, I think you just got to tip your cap.
Great play, and Hill coming hard across post to post, just not there in time. I think it did bounce in off Hill.
And another face-off win for big brother Jer, as unfortunately Lyle Thompson going down in game one of this tournament, and early in game one at that, and word is pretty severe Charlie horse for LT4 and going to be unavailable. May be ready by the end of the tournament, but I wouldn't expect him in the lineup tomorrow night, although there is whispers he could play. I don't see it. I don't think you risk it for that. If he's going to play, you save him for the gold medal game and then throw him in there. We'll see.
Yeah, he's officially listed as day-to-day, but...
And listen, if anybody's coming back from injury sooner than they should, it's Lyle Thompson. And you know if he can get in there, he will. Stotts trying to drop one in there, and it went wide. As England will come up with a loose ball and try and clear the zone here as he gets away from Miles Thompson. And I don't think Heine is in the lineup either as Bowhunter draws in.
Mm-hmm.
So just two of the four Thompson brothers in tonight, as I saw Mr. Thompson and Mrs. Thompson in the crowd here today.
Jerome and Dee making it here?
Yeah, they did, and they are. And I'm going to pick up a Thompson Brothers t-shirt here at some point today as well, as I see a lot of those in the crowd. They look pretty cool.
I was wearing one yesterday, actually.
Well, maybe not then. Here's Pompey shooting one. And Tyson Rowe going to try and run onto this one. Look at him go. Here's Rowe shooting, and Hill on the stick side turns that one in. For a big man like Tyson Rowe, and you can respect it probably as much as anybody, Stamper, the way he can get up the floor is incredible.
Tyson Rowe is an inch taller than me, the only guy at the tournament who's taller, and it blows me away how fast he moves and how agile he is.
There's Bowhunter, and he's on the board. It's 3-1 Iroquois.
Nice little two-man game, gets that pick and roll. And there we have a great shot of the drummers, beating out a beautiful rhythm. Yeah. And here we have the goal, and also a thing of beauty. A nice seal, and then just the step into space.
Well, good start here for the Nationals, who lead at 3-1. Shots on goal 13-4, with 8:26 to go in this opening quarter. So you got a look at the Nationals coaching staff: Richie Kilgore, Rob Williams, You got Dewey Jacobs, Stu Montour, Jason Johnson. They got former Roughneck headman Dave Pym helping out as well. There's Bunyo on a creek-wide feed. Hill, who probably didn't think he was going to get as much playing time as he's gotten, but with Lyle Thompson going down in that game one, so did Doug Jamieson, who apparently pulled a hamstring and is backing up here today, but it's been Warren Hill since quarter number 2 of day 1, and he's shown well.
He is very good. I mean, obviously had a great second half of the NLL season. Actually finished the season with the best save percentage in the National Lacrosse League. Didn't count in the official race because he didn't play enough. But he grabbed the reins of the Halifax Thunderbirds starting role for sure.
And also won himself a President's Cup with the Six Nations Rivermen just a couple of weeks ago in Kahnawake.
MVP of the tournament and absolutely brilliant in that series.
Jonathan will get it across the line and leave it there for Randy Stotts. Spent his collegiate career at Syracuse. Here's Jonathan with a shot. That one blocked on the way in. Breyer will get his own ball back. Bo Hunter out wide for KJ Kyle Jackson. Tuck away, drive it low, and tried to pass in front, and it sailed out of the pocket, out of play.
We've seen Breyer Jonathan just played an offensive shift, as he'll do once in a while, but we've seen Zed Williams and Brendan Momberry going up for offensive shifts. So I was wondering which of them would play tonight.
Well, don't forget about Thomas Hogarth either, who will probably take a couple of shifts up front as well. This is Caleb Kuber, who junior for the Victoria Shamrocks and was in the Minto Cup right here at the Langley Event Center just last month. As he digs a ball free for his teammate to pick up, and can he stay on the right side of things? No. Push back across the line was Matt Marsh, and then had a stick chopped right out of his hands for good measure. Here come the Iroquois. They got numbers. Jamieson, pass it off. Here's Durston. Can't stick it short side. Ball goes off the goaltender. Nanticoke thinks it went out of play. No whistle, and finally it goes from Nick Thomas, the high official, who makes the right call.
Yeah, absolutely, and clearly, obviously off Chiliano, and looked fairly clearly out of play.
So you got Hogarth, Nanticoke, Zed Williams out there. There's Hogarth. That shot didn't get through. Kick it off to Jammer. Here's Jamieson, skip it to the crease. Williams took it right in the breadbasket there. Hogarth was still 16 on the shot clock. Jamieson, as Durston running picks for him, as Chiliano down, makes the save. Ball comes loose. Durston puts it in. Oh, that's unlucky there for England. Chiliano made the stop, tried to get up and find the ball. Durston found it first, in it goes.
And Gavin Abramson is complaining, but this is a perfectly legal, perfectly legit play by Jordan Durston right on top of the crease. You can see Chiliano just moves his leg, and that's one where, again, you generally just stay still.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're hoping the official also blows the whistle when he loses sight of the ball as well, and it just didn't come. And Durston, give him some credit, stayed right on top of the crease looking for a little garbage, and he found it. And now
Chiliano adjusting the gear. One, you mentioned Jerome Thompson being here. Of course, Heine Thompson, number 22, is Jerome Jr., but Jerome has played the last few years with the Thompson Brothers elite team in the Lasnai tournament in Onondaga. The father has played, and his uniform number is 242274.
I like it. I like it. I almost just went up and shook his hand and just was going to say, like, thank you for making babies.
I've pretty much said that to D. I've talked to Jerome a bit. He's a little quieter, but D's the gregarious one in the pair. And
thank you for having children and playing the sport of lacrosse. And I was so looking forward to watching Lyle and the Nationals play here. And for all the guys that could have gotten hurt at this tournament, you don't want to see anybody go down, but I could not have been more disappointed to see number 4 go down.
Yeah, 100% in agreement.
Unfortunate, but like a good teammate, I've been kind of keeping tabs on Lyle and the social media and all the rest of it, and he's still in good spirits and behind his boys here. So here come England, and Hill forced to make a good stop off of Nate Clare, looking for his second goal, and back the other way we go quickly with Stotts. Here's Randy Stotts in. Chiliano kicks that one out. Durston after a loose ball, he missed it. And so did Miles Thompson now, and a battle ensues between 2 English players and 2 Iroquois, and the Nationals win that one. There's a chance. And where is it? Chiliano down in a snow angel here, and it's underneath him.
Albert Whitehead had a great game yesterday in that English comeback to force overtime against Israel that was really driven by the defense.
Lyndon Bunyo will move it off to Colville. That pass deflected. Hogarth just missed it. And now Bomberry's got it.
Tyson Bomberry, quick look up the floor as Brendan Bomberry had taken off. But
well, that's the first thing the Nationals will do when they scoop a loose ball on their own end is they look up the floor to see if they have transition heading up. Stotts just missed far side as Jackson will keep it on the right side of center. Only 6 on the shot clock, however, and Jackson will move it quickly to Hogarth. Runs into a roadblock. Backdoor scores! What a feed from Hogarth to Jackson on the doorstep, and it's 5-1.
1 second on the shot clock as that goes in. Great patience from Thomas Hogarth to recognize exactly how much time he had and that he did have time to make this give and go pass back to a cutting Kyle Jackson, who has such slick hands on the crease, and Hogarth a really nice vision and great hands to make the pass. And as you pointed out, staying up for some offensive shifts.
Indeed, as we take you back to center floor.
Jeremy Thompson getting possession once again for the Iroquois Nationals. Will hand it off to Brendan Bomberry, staying for a shift up front again.
Drums picking up here with the Nationals on a run. As Bowhunter looking to feed, he's got Jamison high, now Nanakoke. He'll have to pick it up off the turf. 7 on the shot clock, Nanakoke inside, shoots low, and Chiliano a pad stop, free ball up for grabs, and there's Tyson Rowe again. Sticks it in gear, Rowe coming in, shooting, scores! As Thompson just bounces off a Rowe who pots it past Hill, and it's 5-2.
2 goals last night for Tyson Rowe. He also was on a 2-on-1 break in the overtime in which he passed to Sam Clare, which was probably the right call. That is a lovely hip-high shot to the far side. Not easy going across the body from your offside, but you can see he saw that opening. Love that shot from behind. You can see the space he had, pings it in off the post.
Tyson Rowe just continuing to get better and better and better as the years go by as well. And another guy that's had a sniff or two at the National Lacrosse League, just hasn't been able to crack a full-time roster, but he's right on the cusp as well. Bunyo passes off, penalty call coming here to Iroquois as Hill will trap it, and England's going to get their first power play of the evening. Trailing by 3, being outshot 20-9, but power play time here for the 3 Lions.
Hogarth with the slashing call on the chop, right in the shooter spot up there, and he will, as players are wont to do, disagree with the call. That was it.
Now, rarely do you see a player like nod to the official, like, good call, ref. That was definitely a penalty, and I deserve 2 minutes. I'm heading to the penalty box now.
Occasionally, but it is a rarity.
Very rare.
Very.
So England power play now. Quick shot there from Will Walker was stopped by Warren Hill as he got Nate Clare and Lyndon Bunyo on this near side. And England forces the turnover here. Matt Marsh. And I believe that's Fitzgerald on the far crease as that one rings the pipe. Rolls around the corner boards for Nate Clare. Skip it across. Here's the take. That one wide. Loose ball. And here come the Nationals. Adam Bomberry on the go.
Will Walker and Matt Marsh with some hard shots there. 2 of the English nationals, the English players actually from England playing for this team, the guys that they are building around as they try and build toward an all-English club.
I think I saw a tweet earlier in the week, upwards of 15 homegrown players from the United Kingdom.
Indeed.
There's Stotts bouncing off a check. Jackson will run it down in the corner. Bad angle shot at the expiration of the 30-second clock. Chiliano stopped it anyway.
Chatting with some of the English players earlier in the day in management, and they were saying one of the big things was the Northern Box League and the Southern Box League getting together, working together, instead of being really separate entities.
Yeah, I know you had an extended conversation with headman Walt Christensen yesterday. We'll touch on that as the game progresses here. As we're under 2 minutes to go in this first quarter. Still 38 seconds to go in the penalty time to Hogarth. Nats lead at 5-2. This is Bunyo. Now Walker. Here's Bunyo into the corner. Fitzgerald missed it. And here come the Nationals on the attack. 3-on-2. Trailing is Tarbell. He's got Jamieson open, and Jimmer will not score, as they'll say. Chiliano down on top of it again. And half his body on the right side of the goal line, half on inside the goal, and you just can't tell where the ball is.
No, and the smart thing, of course, is you just lay under there and try and maybe shimmy a little, make sure it's outside.
No visual evidence.
No.
But you tell me. Where that ball's in. That ball
it's
is
a foot in.
Yeah, that should have counted, and the official just didn't see it.
Yeah.
It is a penalty, however, on Team England here for too many men, I believe, as Will Alslop will serve the bench minor.
Yeah, Blair Ferguson put the one hand up for the reset and then to hold play, and then just dropped it down across his other forearm.
You're giving me the hand signal, Stamper. Nobody can see us up in the booth here.
I know. I just feel better when I'm acting.
Challenger does that all the time. He's a big-time hand talker. I always tell him, nobody can see you, man.
But the energy of the hand signals goes across the airwaves.
I see how it goes. So penalty time now over to Thomas Hogarth, as it's a 5-on-4 here for the Nationals, as they already set up. Durston down low, whips one up to Jamieson. Loads, skip down to the crease. One more from Miles Thompson, was knocked down. They reset the 30 and should now, but England comes up with the ball anyway, as here comes Tyson Rowe in transition again, barreling his way to the cage, knocked down, ball loose. And Nanticoke will come up with it, and it's just not something you would have seen Tyson Rowe do. He's usually a pretty passive player, but I think as you see his confidence start to rise, he's starting to realize, hey, I'm 6'8" and 250 pounds, and I can run people over. And more you're seeing him take aggressive chances. Jamieson into the top corner, wipe it out. And a legal screen.
Exactly the kind of play I would like to see Jakub Vimala from the Czech Republic, a great young player, do, because he's got that big size to barrel through guys too.
Tim Semish, another for Team Israel. Maybe not the stick skills or speed of Tyson Rowe, but definitely the same body type. Final seconds here of quarter one for Nate Clare, and a pick and roll. Bunyo called on a moving pick. Look up floor quickly, got to go. 2 seconds. Chance here for Hogarth. No, he'll run out of time. As Stats takes one up high, he didn't like that. All right, lacrosse fans, welcome back inside the Langley Event Center, the Arena Bowl here in the township of Langley, a suburb of Vancouver in the province of British Columbia in the country of Canada, the host site of the World Indoor Lacrosse Championship. Blow the whistle, let's play some lacrosse. The host site of the World Indoor Lacrosse Championships. Jake Elliott, Steven Stamp with you. After 15 minutes of play, the Iroquois Nationals lead Team England 5-2. Outshoot them in that opening quarter 23-11. And start the period, or quarter I should say, on an abbreviated man advantage. Stotts with a bounce shot, missing. Jamieson trying to run it down, and he'll get there in time. Still got some legs in that body for Jim. They'll take it at the point, load it up, pass it off. Stats one more time, flip it down to the crease, and a diving shot from Miles Thompson is in the back. No, it's Nanticoke, excuse me. A diving shot from Nanticoke into the far side, and they actually put the goal up on the wrong side. It's 6-2 Nationals.
That's happened on occasion, but and Alsop is coming out of the box as this goal is being put in. So in one sense, a slightly dangerous play, but I mean, you're right down on the crease taking that shot, and a very high percentage shot by Dehogan Nanticoke.
Got you confused.
Yeah.
Back to center we go. And Thompson has had his way in the faceoff dot, loses this one, however. Ball is still loose. And the Nationals will win it here with Hogarth. Another crack on offense here for the Nationals in their beautiful purple jersey. Shot high from Stotts. Off the shoulder of Chiliano, who is going to have to be a wall here for England to give them a shot tonight. And I just don't know how you keep it up for 60 minutes. You may be able to steal a quarter or two for your team, but to do it over a 60-minute time period is almost impossible.
Well, they just wear on you. I mean, Iroquois and Canada have that similarity that both offensively and defensively, they'll just wear away.
Zed Williams had his shot blocked, comes right back to him, pass it off. Miles Thompson denied on the doorstep, and England will finally touch up. From Jamie Sutton as the whistle goes, and it will be Sutton who heads to the penalty box.
Holding the stick, the call. As if the Iroquois need a man advantage to be dangerous. Just a little extra opportunity for them. Randy Stotts will start with it up top.
So it's Stotts, Bowhunter, Nanakoke, Miles, and Jameson out there. Cody in behind the goal. Fakes the pass, now plays it high for Stotts, lost it. Ball's loose. Rowe started to take off. Nationals trying to come back up with it. And Miles Thompson will pass it off to Jameson here with 7 on the shot clock. Wraparound attempt there from Nanakoke was denied by Chiliano.
Good effort, but Chiliano was all over that one, ready to go, and that really didn't have a huge chance going in at that point.
You've got to have your head on a swivel here against the Nationals, especially on the man advantage. They are going to whip that ball around. It does not stay in anybody's pocket for longer than a second.
Setting Cody Jameson up behind the net at times just makes it so much more difficult to keep your eye on everybody.
Brought up the topic of best player from behind the goal on day one, Stemper. You got an all-time great from behind the goal, Gretzky's office, if you will. You got a pick? You got a selection?
Give me a few minutes.
All right. They'll set it back up. Over the shoulder. One more. Near side Jackson, send it back. It's Ed Williams to Jameson. Here comes the shot from Stotts right into the belly pad there of Chiliano. Outlets quickly. He's got Kuber up the floor, turned him around the wrong way. And Hill will gather in. A lot of people coming up with Dan Dawson, the best from behind the goal.
Yeah.
I can't think of anybody better, personally.
No, I mean, the one guy who didn't maybe do it as much, but at times was deadly, is John Grant Jr. Because he was so good at leaping quickly to dunk it if you didn't respect it, as well as the amazing passing.
Head coach of Finland wasn't bad at it either.
I was going to say Tracy Pulaski was another guy that ran through my head.
Here's Ed Williams. He won't shoot it. Stotts, he will. And Chiliano will stop it as it's underneath them. You have a submission, let us know. You can get at us via Twitter anytime as the Twitter feed open 24/7. Steven Stamp is at Stamp Lax. Myself, you can find me at PXP. The number 4 Sports. PXP for Sports or at Stamp Lax. Who do you think is the best box player from behind the goal? I'm not talking dunks or I'm talking just, setting up shot back there, passing the ball around, making things happen from behind the goal. Bunyo denied by Hill.
Koluski's key, I think he passes so quickly and had such great vision he could just make something
There's
happen.
There's a chance for Nanakoke. Dip and dunk and stick it in. Book it for Dahoga Nanakoke.
It just makes it look so easy on the run. I believe that's Adam Bomberry with the setup pass on the outlet. Nanakoke, the first guy streaming in off the bench.
And just one little corkscrew over the shoulder. And you're right, he just makes it look easy. I've given Dahoga Nanakoke, because he likes the moniker TN1, as he wears the number 1. His name starts with T, even though you pronounce it Dahoga. So I've monikered him the Chosen One, and you got to capitalize that N on the end. So you have capital T, the Chosen with the capital N, and then the 1 on the end. TN1. You with me, Snapper?
I'm with you.
The Chosen One for Dahoga Nanakoke.
I can roll with that.
I try. Under 11 minutes to go here in the second quarter. The Nationals now leading 7-2, out-shooting England 30-13. As the drums pick up here again. There's about 4 or 5 of them just in behind the Nationals bench, and they are making a racket, and I love it.
Jameson's shot posts them back of Chiliano's arm, then he drops onto it. And for the Chosen One, you have to use the visualization skills as though I were making hand gestures in the booth.
Loose ball corralled in. Here's Briar Jonathan. He's got Goodwin up ahead of the play. Good. He likes to shoot in transition. Not this time, as Jonathan will settle things down here for the Iroquois.
Briar Jonathan up for another shift, and he's going to whip it across to Bowhunter.
There's Bowhunter with a low drive. Chiliano falling backwards, but the ball stays on the right side of the goal line.
A couple of guys that we haven't seen as much in the offense. Obviously, Bowhunter getting his first game, and Jonathan just stepping in occasionally.
England back on offense here, looking to cut into this 5-goal deficit as Nate Clare on a low to high, just missing. He'll get another chance in Hill. Rock solid once again, makes the stop for number 76. Hogarth goes rank wide. Stotts surveying the floor. Nobody open quite yet. Into the corner for Miles Thompson on the post up as he'll pop high. Stotts down low. Move it across to Durston. He'll look up. Here's Jamieson. Off the toe of Chiliano and stayed out. And there's a good taste of the ball movement that the Iroquois Nationals can give you. Maybe a chance here for England. Up the floor they come quickly. And what's the call going to be? Too many men. That's an England penalty. Here in the international game, not just a change of possession on offense. You're going to get 2 minutes for that.
And they were thinking the same thing as you. Maybe a chance in transition there. And you could see, I think it was Whitehead running with the ball, looking for the pass. Sees the man coming off the bench, and Blair Ferguson immediately threw that hand up, made the call. I thought in the previous Iroquois possession, really interesting. You're talking about the ball movement, it was so sharp, and the awareness with Randy Stotts and Jordan Durston both realizing they drifted, they'd gotten themselves a little bit below a good shooting angle, so you just keep moving the ball to the open man.
So 5-on-4 once again here for the purple and gold. Jamieson working as the quarterback here. Stotts over his shoulder to Nanakope. No looker. Jamieson missed it short side. Gets his own rebound. Sticks it low. Stick save this time for Big Frankie. And a crease violation on the Nationals will give possession here to England.
Cody Jamieson having a little chat as he heads off, explaining exactly why that call was wrong. Picked off by Bomberry. He's going to create a 2-on-1.
He's got Goodwin with him, and he shoots it wide. And no, he didn't. That one went off of Chiliano and out of play. So the Nationals will keep possession here. And still 125 to work with here in the man advantage. New personnel out for this power play. Zed Williams at the point, but it's Jamieson, and he gets it to go just barely across the line. Chiliano with a big chunk, but just not quite enough.
Randy Stotts with the no-look pass, staring up at Zed Williams, and just goes across the body. You see him look up and then cross body right there to Jamieson. Chiliano gets a bit, but Jamieson has a ton on this shot with that short release. Just great vision by Stotts. And the key, of course, in the no-looker, you got to know where you're going with it before you look away and have that sense that Jamieson's coming, and they've played together so much.
Best look-away passer in the game, Stemper? Crawford?
Oh, Crawford is very good. Such a nice touch, just floated out there for guys.
Another stop for Chiliano. Showtime, always with the lookaways.
Sometimes it's like he does it just because he prefers
and
to not be looking at guys when he passes.
Yeah. Quick change of possession here and a chance in on goal for Tarbell. And Nate Clare a little guilty there, not realizing the 10-second count was on. He had a chance to kind of get a little giddy up in his step and get across and just didn't. And then the turnover happened. I think it was Kuber, not Clare. And then Tarbell in behind everybody, had Chiliano dancing and finds the short side.
And Tarbell's goal last night was no goal. He's just a defender standing there, easy enough to drop in. This one, though, shows some pretty sweet hands to throw those fakes and get a little twister going. And now the timeout. And last night, the timeout by Walt Christensen was an absolute game changer as it changed the entire tenor of the game. And he ripped into his defense, his team last night, and the defense came out like a different group of players.
Walt Christensen, Mann Cup champion winning coach and player. And flanked there by Jordan Sunder and Dan Perreault, who is in the Canadian Lacrosse Hall of Fame. And I think a very well-timed timeout here by Walt and England.
Yeah, and again, I mean, England realistically comes into a game like this or a game against Canada knowing their chances of winning are very slim, but that doesn't negate what you're trying to do, what you're trying to accomplish. He has talked about how the goal is get better every game, get better every quarter.
Lane Smith tweeting at us here, Stamper, saying that the best player behind the net when he's not in goal is third-string goaltender Chase Martin for the Iroquois Nationals, and I can't say he's right or he's wrong because I just haven't seen Chase operate from behind the cage very often.
Huh. Okay. That would be interesting to see. I have not seen that.
So after the timeout,
I'm guessing that's because he has fed Lane several times. Lane Smith is a sniper, and I'm sure he's had some apples come from Chase Martin behind the net, if that's what he's tweeting.
Another submission for the GOAT, Stamper, John Tavares. Never a bad selection.
I mean, you can say the best at just about anything and throw John Tavares in the conversation.
Talking box lacrosse, John Tavares comes to the top of the list. Mind you, when it's all said and done, your boy from Peterborough, Shawnee Evans, might have something to say about that.
He's also such a great passer when it doesn't look like he's going to be able to find anyone, an illegal pick there. I mean, Evans to me is one of the best at passing and finding someone open when you can't imagine how he can even know where they are, and just getting it through traffic while he's being knocked to the ground.
And maybe the most prolific passer ever was Josh Sanderson, but he didn't do a whole lot of operating from behind the goal. He made it work from above goal line extent.
Yeah. I've always thought Josh Sanderson was one of the best short passers. The 2 or 3 foot pass that doesn't handcuff somebody. He's like dead in the stick so the guy can play it.
And oddly enough, his nickname, Shooter.
I know. Fans in Peterborough used to yell at him, call him the ball hog. I was like, he's the best passer in the world. What are you talking about?
Here's a chance for Durston. And that gets kicked into the goal by Chiliano as Durston rang the pipe. It hit the back as Chiliano dropped down. Frankie didn't know where it was, and he booted it right into his own goal.
Yeah, I think he's obviously spinning around to try and find the ball, knowing it might have been loose. And you always feel bad for a goalie when this happens. He just moves his foot.
That just make you sick to your stomach right there. Has no idea where this ball is and just popped it, gave it the old back heel right into his own goal.
Jordan Durston ran through the crease and was out and established on the other outside before Chiliano kicked it in, so it's even a good goal.
And I don't know if this will be a permanent goaltender change here, or maybe the way the goalie is walking to the goal is we have a goaltender change, and it looks like an English injury here as well. And I think this might be the old Canadian timeout here, Stamper. Just slow the game down as much as you possibly can. And they make the goaltender change. Yeah. Somebody drops down with maybe a Iroquois cramp. And we'll just get a little pause here with this scoreline now 10-2. And Iroquois in full motion here, leading the shot totals at 40-14 as well. Anything happening on the old Twitter feed while we got a moment?
No, just still that was Troy Hood, sorry, with the shooter reference from behind the back, saying he could pass the ball from anywhere. He could pass the ball from anywhere.
What about our poll question? Why don't you update that while we go?
Check that one. And,
we asked the question in the previous game, would you prefer to have the World Championships be referred to as indoor and outdoor, or as box and field? And overwhelmingly, Steve Stamp,
564 votes, 90% box and field, 10% indoor and outdoor.
That is convincing.
Yes.
Thompson with a face-off win.
And to the one person who said, sorry, Canadian friends, or us Americans would say the two types are box, lacrosse, and lacrosse, we don't like that.
Yeah, that's...
we did not enjoy that response.
I think he said he was joking, but that's a pretty ignorant comment.
Kyle Jackson around the back, one-hander.
And that'll be a back-end violation there on Team England.
And Elliot Pugh literally told me earlier in the day that he's going to have to be ready for those one-handers by this Iroquois team.
Well, he's in the goal now, and he's going to come under fire as here comes Nanakoke. Oh, Pugh with a stop there as he threw up a shoulder and kept that one out. England trying to get out of the run. Look at Nanakoke with the around-the-world loose ball.
Wow.
I mean, that's a loose ball, but that's one of the highlights of the tournament right there with that loosey. Jackson, no. I don't know if we can get a quick replay of that loose ball or not, fellas, but that was exceptional.
Elliot Pugh with another nice save, diving out onto the loose ball in much less spectacular fashion than DeHogan Nanakoke, but nonetheless recovering it.
And he made it look absolutely effortless. And that's the crazy part. Like he'd done it 100,000 times before.
He's probably done it a fair bit.
Probably.
Yeah.
What do we got? Iroquois penalty coming up.
There you go.
As Nick Thomas will make the call. I think it's Briar Jonathan off to the cubicle of shame.
And I believe the plan was for Elliot Pugh to play in this game, maybe the second half. I'm not sure the plan was to bring him in now. But Frank Chiliano has the gloves and the helmet off. So that would suggest that
he's not coming back in anytime soon. Keep an eye on Jonathan there. I think we just missed the penalty call, but a power play opportunity here for England, and a much needed one. Trailing by 8. Walker at the point. Buñuel pulls the trigger. Hill, a shoulder stop, a loose ball for Goodwin. Look up, here comes a man off the bench. It's Ed Williams, one-handed catch. Ed Williams put it wide, rebound chance, Turnbull. And I thought he might go reverse backhand there, but decides to hang on.
Probably a good decision in that situation, shorthanded.
Unless you're
2-on-5.
Unless you're wearing number 1, you don't try that stuff.
Yeah.
Here's Bowhunter open, over the shoulder and right on, and Pugh the stop.
Nice little stretch here for Elliott Pugh, getting rolling well.
Bunyo will settle things down here with 75 seconds left to work with in the man advantage. Under 5 we go here in the second quarter. Claire, Bunyo. Late man coming on is Cuber. He was a defender in Junior A, but will play the point of the power play here for Team England. As that one goes off the post and out, Souvenir up for grabs for a youngster here in the crowd. Good hustle there from a youngster wearing a Iroquois National shirt. Got his stick in hand as a good young player should.
Nice effort by Bunyo again, that power and the drive to get through traffic, which I think is going to stand him in good stead, as we mentioned earlier, for an NLL shot.
40 seconds left to kill off in the penalty time to Jonathan. Jameson coming on. And what do we got? Change of possession on a moving pick, I believe, on Nanticoke.
Yeah, it was a moving pick with the stick to the middle of the face by Nanticoke.
Okay, well, if that's the case.
Yeah. So that's going to go the other way. We have something happening over in the field house. It is 7-6 for Sweden over Australia.
Wow.
Which is a massive upset in the making if they can hold on to that one.
Yeah, I mean, Sweden has been getting pasted by most of the competition here, and to be up a goal on Australia, who might just be self-imploding after that loss to Finland last night, which was, well, not exactly a Picasso of a lacrosse game, let's just say that. And maybe that is, they still have a bit of a hangover from last night, because they are a better team than Sweden, let's just say it.
Yeah.
And they're not showing it right now over in the fieldhouse.
Yeah, I mean, I like the Swedish guys, what they're working on, what they're doing, but they're not at the level of Australia at this point.
Here's a chance. Jonathan out of the penalty box. And Elliott Pugh with another stop. He's been good since coming in here for Chiliano.
Yeah, I mean, Elliott Pugh can play. He's not obviously at the level of Frank Chiliano or some of the pro goalies, but he's been working at this craft for a while, and boy, he puts a lot into this game on and off the floor.
Huber. There's Marsh off to Coville with 6 on the shot clock. Looks towards the net. Fired that one 3 feet wide. Shot clock down to 2. Nationals could have left that one, but decide to play it. It works out okay. Now they got a 4-on-2 up the floor. Almost threw it away. Good one trying to save it. He will. And they'll make some changes. As actually Heine Thompson is playing. He's playing out of the back gate.
Yep.
So Bowhunter comes in. Heine Thompson drops back. As Hogarth takes a shift up front. This is Bowhunter. Late in the shot clock, trying to work it to the goal here. And a stop from Pugh, who drops down. Very tall goaltender, so when he goes down, he still takes up a lot of the net. Joseph. 2:20 to go in the half. This is Fitzgerald, who wears 87 for England. Out there with Marsh on this near side as they go lefty strong. Marsh from the point. Bunyo tucks away on Thompson, runs wide on Bomberry. Shovel it high for Claire. 6 on the clock. They take a low underhand shot there that goes wide, and look out. Thompson overshoots Briar Jonathan, who's got to try and leg this one down. Tyson Rowe will cut him off, and he'll come up with the loose ball. Nice job there from Tyson Rowe. He's got a ball up. Here's a chance. Bunyo, and he's just wide on the short side as he was rocketing towards the goal there.
Very close. Just
chance here for Stotts now, and he put it over top of the net as he looks skyward. That should have been money in the bank there for Randy Stotts, and he missed it too. And the Nationals have been a little dry in the goal scoring department here since Elliott Pugh came into the goal, but just as I say, Jordan Durston finds an empty net and makes it 11-2.
Yeah, and that ball was ricocheting out towards an England player, actually hit Nick Thomas in the back of the legs, and that's how Iroquois will end up maintaining possession, and then they take the advantage of it. Randy Stotts operating from not quite behind the net, but along the goal line extended, and that's a pretty easy tap home for Jordan Durston as he runs in behind the 2 English defenders.
Yeah, just getting a message coming through from my man Chuck. I believe that's Squamish Nation and the Jacobs ladies who are doing the drumming across the arena here today, Stephen.
Nice.
doing a fine job, I must say. And it's just over a minute to go here in the half. Shots on goal now 46-19. And the Nationals lead it by 9. Turnover here. Iroquois up with it. And it's Ty Long.
Pretty strong Squamish Nation presence in North Vancouver. Hard shot by Williams in North Vancouver, where I lived for 7 years.
Yes, the Capilano River in the North Shore and Squamish Nation. As Nanakoke just missing. As Elliott Pugh will control in his crease.
He was heading to the bench now. He took a look over, and they do call him in.
Final 12 seconds here. Do the Nationals want timeout here? They have a 9-goal lead. I don't think they're too concerned about final possession numbers here. And they'll just run it to space and let time expire. As England actually, the goaltender on the bench, I didn't even notice that stepper. And
yeah. No, that's why I mentioned that England had brought Pugh to the bench to get the sixth attacker, then just threw the pass away. And Albert White had some terrific play. And Elliott Pugh still in the goal to our left, playing for England, so he is sticking around.
And I think that by design here is that bigger games on the horizon here for Team England. Blow the whistle, let's play some lacrosse. Early move from Thompson will give possession to England. So they want to keep their number 1 star goaltender rested as much as possible. As Bunyo denied by Hill, and an early chance there for England. Carson Tarbill running with Hogarth here as we're underway here in quarter number 3. Comes Jordan Durston to Cody Jamieson, working with Kyle Jackson. This is Nanakoke, back to Jamieson, backs away from pressure, backdoor slip from Durston, and the ball actually ends up on Pugh's goal, as he had to be sharp there.
He did. It turned into a shot, and he was fairly lucky. I think he was just in good position.
Ball shoveled ahead here, and England will get set up. There's Nate Clare from well out, and that shot blocked by Jeremy Thompson. And it's Iroquois ball looking for the quick whistle, and I'm not sure why he didn't get it. And now two referees.
They're going to confer, so that's a shame. I like to see it keep rolling, but if you're not sure of the call, you got to slow it. You got to blow it down, I guess.
Everybody kind of gets together here to discuss this call. And honestly, I think it's just a shot clock violation, Iroquois possession. But they're going to call Thompson on a push on the back, it looks like, and give England the ball. Borderline at best, but it's England ball. And this is Caleb Kubert. Now Marsh, and had a stick check just at the last second as Bunyo sticks it short side.
Great gritty goal by Lyndon Bunyo. Nice heads-up play to see the ball coming off the back boards and get headed towards it immediately. You'll see how quickly he responds. Right here, he's going. And that is how he beats Jeremy Thompson to the ball and beats Adam Monbury to the net.
And beats Warren Hill in the goal as he's been kind of going reaching far side, and like a good shooter, sets up the goaltender, pulls it back short side, and finds some open goal.
And as a guy who, as we mentioned, looking for a gig in the National Lacrosse League, pretty nice things to add to your resume. Some goals against Canada and the Iroquois.
It costs you absolutely nothing to bring this kid to camp. And it's not exactly like lefty goal scorers are growing on trees either, Stammer. It costs you not, like, why not give him a look?
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, I think he might have been signed by the Warriors.
This year?
I think.
He might have been.
I'm not positive on that, but I think. You can let me know if you know at PXP for Sports.
That does sound familiar.
And it would stand to reason because the general manager of the Warriors likes to sign players of the New Westminster Assemblies, which Lyndon Bunyo is a member of. Back on offense here for the Nationals. Zed Williams with fresh legs. Bob Barry Oh, Jameson cutting through. Still gets a pass off and he scores. Dropped the easy one, caught the hard one, and rolls it into the goal over the shoulder of Elliott Pugh.
What a great shot. A very touched shot, not ripping it, knowing when to pull back a little bit on the power. Just go for accuracy, and you'll see the pass just skips right past his stick, but he keeps going to the net, keeps being aware, and that, of course, a key as Jackson finds him.
Just for fans that don't know, that home tour teams are allowed or have a table available to sell merchandise when their team is playing. And with the Nationals coming up here at 7:30, a lineup started, I want to say what, Stamper, about 6 o'clock.
Yeah, it was between 6 and 6:15.
Around the upper concourse, waiting for the Iroquois Nationals merchandise table to open up. And by the time it finally did, it stretched almost the entire length of the floor. Like it just finished now as we're into the third quarter. And I don't think there's a piece left on that table over there. Shot, and Hill, not sure he got a piece. They'll say Iroquois ball.
Yeah, I mean, we can actually see them packing up, and they're not packing a whole lot.
Sure, they'll be back tomorrow as well for Canada versus Iroquois at 7:30. Myself and Brandon Astle with the call as Jackson finds the top corner on a snipe.
That's a beautiful stroke, right? It's that nice smooth release, lets it drift towards the top corner.
Kyle Jackson used to be Michigan University's all-time leading scorer, but the name is escaping me.
Brent Noseworthy.
There you go. He has passed Kyle Jackson, but you can see why KJ was at one time Michigan's all-time leader, which is a fairly new program, but still lots of talent in those hands of one Kyle Jackson.
And Noseworthy following in Jackson's footsteps as a first-round pick in the NLL draft just on Tuesday, just less than a week ago.
You mean that little 5.5-hour thing that you were doing the other night there back in Philadelphia?
That's the one. That was 5 hours on air.
Yes.
We have an hour and a half rehearsal and everything beforehand.
Chance here for England, and off the post and in. That's going to count. Is that Brandon Smith? It is. As that thing went off the turf, off the post, off Hill, off the post, off the turf, and then in. Watch it here once again from Smith on the run.
Takes a look over his shoulder, picks his spot. There you see it. Like you said, post, turf, crossbar, post, Hill.
That's tough to do.
Rolling in the net.
That's tough to do.
Try that again, Brandon Smith. I dare you.
Ooh, triple poster. Thompson, one-handed, can't pick up that loose ball, gets buried there by Alsop. I don't know why that wasn't called, and the Nationals still come up with the ball.
I was just thinking that's been called all week long, and less than that's been called all week long.
No, I mean, I don't mind that they didn't call it, but like you said, they've been calling it all week. Here's Miles Thompson. That one deflected off of his stick. Behind the goal now, finds Jackson. Oh, had Pugh down, who's kind of been going to that a little bit often here, and the Nationals are going to start to make him pick. Jackson again.
Took them about 2 seconds to do what you just said they were going to do. As Pugh again drops down on the shot by Jackson, and he drifts it into the far top. Not quite top corner, but very close to it.
Watched a couple games, Steve.
Yeah.
Couple. And Pugh just unable to catch up to that rocket there from Jackson. And it's 14-4 Nationals now, with 14 goals on 52 shots. As that purple helmet for Jeremy Thompson sparkling under the lights here at the LEC as they face off once again.
When you get the light on the crest on the jerseys, they really shine
and
up.
How about
nice
those
too.
whites last night, Stamper, with the sublimated logo on the back of those things underneath the Haudenosaunee? I just fabulous, absolutely fabulous.
Yeah, I mean they look good from far, but then you get up close and the detail is sensational.
Nike coming through huge. Or Nike. What do you go? You go Nike?
Yeah. 100%.
Okay. Oh, good loose. That's the second loose ball there for that young man down there, Section G.
He's having to fight that one a little bit, but he comes up with it.
2 hands on the stick. He got it in there. That's why you bring your stick to the game, kids. You get loose balls.
Had a beauty catch last night by a kid as it's Hogarth going off. Clean catch right in the basket. Plucked it on the drop.
Pocket, Stamper. Pocket, no basket.
Sorry.
Come on.
I've been getting the...
You're listening to John Gertler too.
He's been getting to me.
Pocket. The webbing.
The webbing. Right in the webbing.
Webbing of a stick. Don't make me go, Gertler, on you. Here's Bunyo trying to get inside, and that one's turned over. Nice stick in the lane from Carson Tarbill. And he'll get to open space here. As the Nats will try and kill some time off. Durston. With that all-black setup to Nanticoke. Durston as they whip it around here. Jamieson on the wrong side of the floor as they, look at this. This is like a passing
four
drill.
Corners.
And then Durston had that pass go high. Wasn't a great ball from Nanticoke. Catchable for Dirty, but tipped off the top of the stick and out. But that was literally the four-corner passing drill working around shorthanded.
There was about a second left on the 30-second clock, so I think Jordan Durston just wanted that kid that caught the one earlier to get his third ball of the night.
Why not?
And he did.
Fake a shot, Marsh. Tries to tuck in, nowhere to go. Finds streaking Bunyo, but that pass knocked down by Bomberry. And he'll pick up and cross center now with 52 seconds left to kill off. 9:35 here to go, third quarter. Iroquois Nationals lead it by 10.
And Adam Bomber and Kaysen Tarba literally had the heads of their sticks behind each other to pick that pass off. One of them was going to get that.
Kaysen, yes, I think I might have said Carson earlier. My apologies.
These things happen.
They do. This is Bo Hunter. I'll save his first name for you, Stamper.
Wagaliat.
Okay. Again. Wagalia.
There we go. Nice job.
I'm learning.
Although he generally says, just call me Bo.
If I can learn De Hasanunde, and if I can learn Macumber's first name, which is escaping me right now from the Minto Cup.
I don't have that one yet.
Deo Sandate Macumber. It just came back to me.
Deo Sandate?
Indeed.
Not bad.
There's Nate Clare. I can say that one. And a shot straight into the turf there from Will Walker as he tried to let it go quickly. And ball up to Hogarth as we're back to even strength once again. Jeremy Thompson told me his Indigenous First Nations actual name. I still can't get that.
Yeah.
It's a toughie. Here's Hogarth, and that one bounces off of him as Roach was draped all over him. Nanticoke can't pick it off the low feed. He'll get to the center line in time, but the shot clock about to expire. And England will get possession back here down 10.
I talked to Randy Stotts shortly after he and his partner had their daughter, I believe it was, and asked the name, and he told me, both I'll tell you the Indigenous name was a toughie too, and I can't for life recall it right now, but
I love it. I think it's great. And I know they list Jerome down as Jerome. I'm going with Heine all the time.
Yeah.
Every time.
And for me, if I'm calling games, I'm just going to go ask the player. And I said, Heine, you're listed as Jerome. What do you? He's like, Heine. I'm Heine.
Yeah. So. I'm always tempted to call Lyle DeHaas all the time too. A little trickier, right? DeHaas and Unde, but he flies above us. I like it.
Yeah.
There is Randy Stotts. Jamieson, one touch. Bo Hunter over the shoulder, and that one is stopped by Elliott Pugh.
That's a pretty slick shot from Bo Hunter.
Yeah, he's looked good since coming in.
Yeah.
And important to get some contributions from guys that have fresh legs. This is a long tournament, and if you can get some rest for some of your guys over a game or two, it's going to pay dividends over the course of 10 days.
Dehoga Nanticoke there didn't play the ball at first because I'm pretty sure he knew he'd gone through the crease, then eventually kicked it. When he was called for through the crease, he then looked and complained. That is a classic lacrosse player move.
Here's Clare. He'll open the scoring for England. Hubert. He'll get the return feed. Thompson closes the gap on him. 12 on the shot clock. Bunyo tucks away. Here's Bunyo. Still going. And that shot stopped by Warren Hill. As it looked like Bunyo might have just kind of passed up an opportunity to make an extra pass, and probably should have been better served to get a little more selfish.
Yeah, I think the shot was probably the play, but still, to get in position for it was yet another example of what he can do out there. I thought it was pretty impressive.
And Zed Williams just blew up, setting on a pick. Now England and Colville in a little bit of trouble. Get it across the center line. Durston checking. Colville stays on his feet, bounces one to Kuber, pressured by Hogarth over the shoulder nicely. Here to Jeffries down the near wall. 10 on the shot clock for Jeffries. They'll move it to Marsh. Tuck it away, drive in, and a shot goes straight into the dirt and then out of play. Give me an update for Australia and Sweden, Stamper. That one is tight.
Yeah, well, they went to halftime at 8-7 for Australia. They're underway again, of course, and it is 12-8 Australia. So
Okay, so
taking some control.
Here's Jackson looking for another. And Elliott Pugh, the stop. Loose ball will be gathered in here by Hogarth. Now Blomberry, quick pass. Bowhunter in below for Jackson, who circles high. He looks in front of the goal. Hogarth was cutting through, but pass was knocked down. Good defense there from England, who get the ball back with 5:20 here to go third quarter. Being outshot 53-21 and looking for their 5th goal of the contest, down 10.
A couple of goals for Matt Taylor in this run for Australia, who scored a handful in their first game, and one for the Australian legend Keith Nyberg, one of the nicest, hardest working guys in the game that you will find.
Of course,
good for him.
Gord Purdy, did I hear you say his 7th
His son is in this one. I didn't even realize his son was here, yeah.
I was going to say, there's a chance. And Pugh on top of that one.
And sits there to keep it out. Yes. But this is Keith Nyberg's 7th World Championships between box and field, and he is tying Gordon Purdy.
Are you throwing the U19s in there?
No.
With that? This is men's.
This is men's.
So 4 field lacrosse, 3 box lacrosse?
It's 4 box, 3 field.
Yeah. That's impressive regardless of what it is.
And Keith Nyberg actually told me that when the 2003 indoor championships or box championships, they were called indoor, whatever, were
lacrosse.
Happening. Yes, were happening. They were told it wasn't sanctioned, so he didn't go. Gordon Purdy did, and then afterwards they kind of retroactively sanctioned. He's like, I would have gone. I'd have another one. I'm sure he would have.
Here's Jackson again. Into the corner, give and go with Jamieson. Jemmer gets it back. He'll swing it. Jackson in behind the goal once again. Here's Jackson cutting through, and that one hit the post and stayed out as Miles Thompson set him up from behind the net.
Looking to work his way into our discussion of the best guys behind the net.
He spends a little time back there, does Miles?
He does.
Here's Bugno driving, scoring. Lyndon Bugno.
Big night for him.
Playing hard. Playing real hard is Lyndon Bugno. Gets around Hogarth, and then that long reach. Bugno finds the far side. And it's 14-5.
That's a couple of goals and an assist for Bugno. He's generated plenty of chances. And Nick Thomas is headed over to the England bench. Seems to have sent them searching for something.
And you might be able to answer this one, Stamper. Is it mandatory? This coming in from my man Slate Bag here, Stamper.
All right.
Is it he's a referee. He's asking a question. Is it mandatory? What do we got going on here?
I don't know.
I think too many personnel on the bench. I think somebody just got removed from the Iroquois bench.
Because Nick Thomas went to the England bench first, and I think, same thing. Had somebody move off to the side, I guess, and now Iroquois the same thing.
I'm asking if it's mandatory for officials to wear visors here in the World Championships. Is Nick Thomas wearing a visor but does not wear one in the summer when he refs for the WLA?
Yeah, I believe it has been added. I'm just trying to remember from the General Assembly of World Lacrosse, where I was the delegate for France this year. Oh, what a shot by Cody Jamieson. And I believe that has been added as a requirement. I have to double check. But they just came out, they just mandated the helmets a few years ago.
Well, I was going to say, there was a day, Stamper, where you didn't need to wear a face mask as a player.
Right.
And then they, said, okay, you got to wear a face mask, but it can kind of be any kind of face mask you want. And then there was
single bar.
I used to wear an old football, kicker's mask with just the single bar across the chin. Until I got a wooden stick right on my eyeball, and then things changed pretty quickly.
Funny how the decision-making process changes.
Yeah. Suddenly I kind of thought, well, maybe I might need my eyes the rest of my life. I should probably put something else on.
Which has served you well in
instead
your
of looking cool out
second
there.
Lacrosse career.
Yes. Actually, my third. Coaching, I would think, would be my second.
Good point.
Zed Williams with a bit of a drop. Gets it back as he's pinned up along the wall. Good pick there from Stotts. He's open down in the crease. Pugh comes out to challenge. Here's Pugh! And that gets a rise out of the crowd here as Pugh came out of, dial that one back, fellas, if we can get a look. As Pugh came out of the goal trying to check Stotts and then had to recover and absolutely rob Pryor Jonathan on a diving stop.
I'm going to go with old school wrestling and say that looked like Tito Santana throwing a crossbody block across the ring as he dives over to make that save.
Somewhere Ricky the Dragon Steamboat is smiling.
Yes.
There's Jamieson around a pick, and that'll be a moving screen as he rolls the ball to the sideboards, dangerously close to a delayed game.
I was just thinking, I wonder if you'd call that in the NLL because he did put it down. It kind of rolled. How much responsibility do you have?
I think that's
control?
I think that's the old veteran non-call there. Maybe a rookie or a sophomore in the league's getting called, but not Cody Jamieson.
And at 15-5, game management dictates don't make that call.
Sure. Diving attempt there and contact with Warren Hill that draws some attention from Longboat.
I like how
Fitzgerald going hard.
I like how Ty Logan just reaches down and taps the helmet off. Says, "I'm not going to hit you. I'm not going to land on you, but don't do that. I'm going to take your helmet off."
Excuse me, I said Longboat,
not
Logan.
Okay.
This is Bo Hunter to Nanacoke. Swing it. Jackson around a pick. All sorts of rim, and he snipes the top corner again, then took a late shot. And that's going to draw a call on England. The goal will count, and the Nationals are going to get a power play.
Yeah, it's about a step and a half or so after Jackson's shot is headed towards the net where Chris Wayner gets on it. But look at that.
Absolute sniper fire here from Jackson. Like it on the run, top cheddar. Not to take Randy Stotts' Twitter handle away.
There you go.
And a little readjustment on the chin strap after taking that shot.
Rebuckle. And that is one where Kyle Jackson's glad he wasn't wearing the single bar kicker style.
You bet. So lead back up to 11 here for the Nationals. If they get one more before England scores, we'll move into running time here.
And we don't go back, even if the lead closes under 12 once it gets rolling.
Correct. Durston, hard feet inside, and nobody open there for Zed Williams, who will get the pass back here, loads up the shot, fires away, and he scores. Zed Williams loves that far side skip sidearm shot and gets that one past Pugh.
He was,
and there it is. That's the 12-goal spread right there.
Yeah, and Zed Williams was absolutely ripping it up for the Six Nations Rivermen at the President's Cup with that underhand shot. They eventually kind of got onto him, but he loves it going low.
And a guy that kind of broke into the National Lacrosse League as a defender transition man, I think is going to play a pretty prominent role up front for the Swarm this year.
Yeah. Fits in very well with Lyle Miles Thompson and Randy Stotts. I remember when they drafted him, he'd been a huge scorer, like 9 points a game in Senior B in a President's Cup a few years ago. And the Swarm drafted him. I talked to John Arlotta and I said, "You got a lot of righty forwards." And they said, "He's going to play transition." I just thought, what? Yeah. And it worked out pretty well. He's not bad at it.
Mr. John Arlotta is, he knows what he's doing.
he's thought about a few things before he's done them.
I will say that much. He's got himself an NLL championship. After a lot of people questioning what he was doing while in Minnesota, trading away the most popular player after most popular player, stockpiling draft picks, and it was all by design to get the Thompson brothers under the stable. And it turned out just fine for the Swarm, winning an NLL title in 2017.
Yeah, all part of the process, to borrow a term from the Philadelphia 76ers.
There you go. Loose ball picked up by England as we're in the final 30 seconds here of quarter three. Listen, I was one of them going like, why are you trading Benesh and Crawford and Suter and Watt and Kirk? And it just kept going, but there were the picks and the picks and the picks, and it turned into Jackson and Matisse and Thompson and Thompson. Yeah. Knew what he was doing all along.
I mean, the 1 year when they got Lyle Thompson, who was the they got Lyle Thompson, Randy Stotts, Chad Tutton, and who was
is that going to count? No.
Oh, count it.
Oh, give him the goal.
Come on.
Give them the goal.
Jesse King was the other one.
Pretty good. The natural.
1, 3, 5, and 6 was Thompson, King, Tutton, Stotts. There we go. I'm done.
Third quarter action is also done. 45 in the books and 15 here to go on day number 4. The Iroquois Nationals outscoring Team England 17-5 as they outshoot them 61-23. All right, lacrosse fans, welcome back inside the LEC as we get set for fourth quarter action here between Team England and the Iroquois Nationals. 17-5. The Nats leading the Three Lions here. Jake Elliott, Steven Stamp with you. Teams are at center and set to go. Blow the whistle. Let's play some lacrosse. It's Jeremy Thompson, a clean face-off win.
15-8 Australia over Sweden, so they've overcome any hangover from last night's
Little
game.
dicey there for a while for the Crocodiles, but they figured it out and will take out Team Sweden. This is Bo Hunter to Nanako. And now Jackson into the corner, not ready for that feed was Heine. Thompson picks it up anyway and scores. Well,
Just wanted to make it challenging.
His first shift in the offensive zone, and it results in a goal for 22.
And the big smile, as you will get anytime you're talking to Heine Thompson. Lets it go off the boards. Well, it doesn't let it, but it goes off the boards. Rolls back to him. He picks it up, pulls it between the two defenders. Drop step into the net. Nice cross-hander. What a great twister.
Some refer to Dahoga Nanakok as his best friend on Instagram yesterday.
There you go. I was not aware of that.
Neither was I. And that's why I brought it up, Steve.
It's a good reason to do something like that.
Not sure how Lyle and Miles and Jer feel about that, but I guess you can't have a best friend if he's your brother, or can you? I don't know.
I mean, I know people, you talk to Jeremy and Jason Noble, and they both assure you that the other twin is their best friend. But if you're not a twin, I feel like you're probably looking outside the fraternity.
Okay. Stouts with a backhand feed to Zed Williams. He'll have to move to open space here as Tatton was knocked down on a hard pick from behind. And Sutton will start the offense. Portmity bounce pass there, Stephen, and it's turned over.
And that
we're averaging about one a game of the Portmity bounce pass so far this tournament.
Yeah, we had, and wow, you and I in our games together were 1 for 1, or 2 for 2, I guess, in the game, one in each.
There's Jackson. And it's Nanakok on the go. He'll spin it back. Here's Miles wide open, off the post, off a pew, and stayed out.
And Tito Santana dives across to grab that loose ball in his crease.
He's like more of a Mr. Wonderful fan than a Paul Orndor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Let's not start the
Just wasn't his move, though.
No. Nailed bit for him.
Yeah.
Another 10-second call. Here comes Heine again. He's got Hogarth, and the pass came late. And England really struggling here to try and scoop this one up, but they get it ahead to the captain. And he'll work it ahead across the line in under 10 seconds this time. Clock will continue to roll here in the fourth quarter with the scoreline not in doubt, 18-5 Nationals.
And you know, there are times when you're starting to miss passes. Oh, nice shot, but the big save by Hill.
Hill just managed to keep that one out as he holds his form for an extended period of time.
And speaking of holding form, I was going to say, when you're missing some passes, having trouble picking the ball, sometimes it's fatigue. It's the wear and tear of a tournament of going out every day and facing these teams that are wearing on you. And, you know, sometimes you're going to see that the play slip a little bit. England will want to get some rest, get back into it, because they've got big games coming up.
Speaking of big games for England, tomorrow they will take on the Stars and Stripes of the United States of America. That'll be the early game in the Blue Division, 4:30 Pacific time here from the Arena Bowl. Myself and Brandon Astle will have the call for you in that one. And then at 7:30, the big matchup of the round-robin competition. The Iroquois Nationals will take on Team Canada, as both teams will go into that game 3-0. 7:30 tomorrow night here from the Langley Event Center and Lac Sports Network and TFSC TV. Set your alarms, set 2 alarms, set 5. Don't miss that one tomorrow night, whatever you do. Shot, save for Hill, rebound Walker, and he got smoked after taking that shot, and I don't know why that's a penalty. That's a clean hit there from Bomberg.
Because big contact has been a penalty very often in this tournament.
Nothing wrong with big contact if you do it legally. Part of the game.
Yep.
The whistle goes. I don't know if we'll get a replay of this Bomberg hit or not.
called an elbow.
I'd like to see a replay. Here we go. That's not it. This is it coming right here. Come on.
That's not an elbow.
Iroquois pointing to the scoreboard saying, are you kidding me? And I don't blame him. That's about as legal as a hit as you can get in an area of the floor where you expect to get hit when you're taking a shot.
Yeah. The one last night that got me was the pick at center by Sam Clare, where he just braced himself. And I honestly saw an Israeli player kind of jump to try and avoid him and ran into him, landed, and you get an illegal pick call that negated a breakaway.
Now listen, I'm not going to get off on a tangent here about the officials, but it's unfortunate that they've kind of been a bit of a focal point here at the World Championships and not for the right reasons. And you hope, and I get it. It's an international game. You're reffing here with elite athletes, and the game goes 100 miles an hour, and a lot of these officials have never been surrounded by high-end speed and talent like they are, and it happens really quick. And it's with a great stop there. It's not an easy game to officiate at the best of times, and when you get on the international stage and you got 4 different refs from 4 different countries all trying to make it happen, it's a tough sell and a tough ask to happen. But you want it to get to a point where the players are deciding the game on the floor and not having the officials have an impact on the outcome.
And wait a second, I'm going to let you go.
Goodwin to Hogarth, 2-on-1. Hogarth back to Goodwin, fake it, take it, score it.
Nice finish. Great unselfish passing between Goodwin and Hogarth on the give and go. And just ramming that home, the former first-round draft pick, Brandon Goodwin.
And before you get to your thoughts here, Stephen, like last night during the Australia-Finland game, it was a debacle. Like it was almost a disgrace to the sport of lacrosse the way that the game was played. And like I'm not putting it all on the officials because they were consistent on what they were calling. And whether it was the right call or the wrong call, they were consistent on what they were calling. But neither team made the adjustment to how the game was being called, and I put that on them, not on the coaches of both Australia and Finland and the players for not realizing and reacting to how the game was being officiated and curtailing their game to it. They just continued to play a certain way and continued to parade to the penalty box all night long.
Yeah, and I've got 2 quick points I'll make. One is World Lacrosse is taking the bull by the horns here. They've got referees who are developing. Here's a chance.
Durston tried to get cheeky.
A little floater. But, they've got people who are developing referees are having clinics around the world, in Europe and elsewhere. And I think they are addressing it, and they are working very hard to try to improve the situation.
Absolutely.
Because they recognize there's a shortage of officials, and we don't want to dump all over the people who are putting in the time and effort.
I couldn't do the job.
Right?
There's no way.
That is my next point is I was actually last year, 2018, I was in Prague at the Alshabesky. I was asked to referee the kids game. They call them the ants, I think. So it's the 7 and 8-year-olds who are amazingly talented and well-schooled in lacrosse in Prague in the Czech Republic. But it's not a competitive game. It's for fun. And even that, there are times I was like, I think I just screwed up. Is that a penalty? It's hard.
It's not easy.
It's way different when you're down there and you have the whistle in your hand than it is for us sitting up here. And I give them that credit.
No question about it. And I know it starts at the top with Jim Shearer, who is new to World Lacrosse, and a whole new executive and governing body that have big plans and want to create a lot of change in World Lacrosse. And it started with a rebranding from FIL to World Lacrosse. And it's only going to get better, but it's definitely a work in progress. And we're seeing it firsthand here at the World Championships. And you got to understand it, and you got to accept it, and you got to play through it and move on.
And growing pains are part of the price of growth.
No question. And the game is growing. We all know that, and for the better. So instead of trying to focus on the negatives, let's try and find the positives to focus on. And we've seen some questionable officiating, but we've seen a lot of good officiating as well, Stemper.
Yep. And growth among the officials.
20 teams here, the most ever for an indoor championship, and that's to be celebrated big time.
Hong Kong with their first win.
Netherlands showing well. Costa Rica here. Nanticoke and a whirling dervish. Stopped by Pugh.
Israel with their first blue group win.
Lots of good things happening here at the World Championships. And while we're on the subject, that should be back over. It's not. Refing the
Game management?
scoring time there,
Yeah.
yes. Shout out to everybody here at the Langley Event Center as well who have made this tournament go off without a hitch here, and it's run as about as smoothly as you can. And there was never a doubt in my mind that it was going to happen, but when you got this many teams and all the things that can go wrong, and nothing has gone wrong, quite frankly. It's all been good here at the Langley Event Center so far. Too many men called.
On Iroquois. And I'll tell you one thing, like, if you talk to the organizers, I'm sure Tyler Dinwoody and James Sutherland would say, oh, there's been this and this and this.
But you'd never know.
You don't see it out front. The thing is, they've gone and dealt with all that stuff that comes up for any event. And for us and for the people who are here and the people watching, it has gone without a hitch. And that's the nature of organizing events, is you deal with those things, and they've done it. Hats off to them.
Yep, they're prepared and things are in place. And the Iroquois Nationals will take a penalty here with 4.5 minutes to go in this game with a 14-goal lead. It's Bowhunter that has a seat, as he is the in-home for the bench minor. Shot there, stop from Hill, who has to get back to his feet, and does, as Marsh almost found the back of the goal there. Bunyo at the point. He'll step in, fake it, pass it off. Claire drops down. Now feeds near side. Fitzgerald moving towards the crease. 15 on the shot clock. Skip it across to Claire. Tuck it away. Bad angle. And Hill just standing right on his short side pipe makes the save. He has played really well here today.
He has.
He hasn't seen a ton of rubber come his way, but he's made all the stops that he's supposed to.
I mean, he is just one of those goalies hitting that age where he's actually a little before goalies generally come into their prime, but he is really finding his groove as a goalie.
Here comes that four-corner passing drill once again as they'll keep it to the outside. Nanakoke slides inside. This is Stotts. Over the shoulder, Nanakoke, 2 on the shot clock, and almost found a little room between the wickets there. 45 seconds left in the man advantage for England. Check this out, Stamper 88 back on the short man here.
There you go. Transition player of the tournament back in the 2011 World Indoor Lacrosse Championship. So
I have never seen Cody Jamieson play on the short man. I can rest you assured of that. And there is a stop from Warren Hill that he never should have made. Wow.
Cue that one up in split screen with Craig Wendy's stop from earlier in the day. And let's just see those because they're on opposite sides of the net. It would be like a Picasso.
And Hill kind of stretching out after that one, maybe just tightening up the leg pads a little bit. He's still down on a knee, Tim Tebow style here after making that save.
He is actually still tightening up. That a save like that will loosen your straps.
I would think so. And I don't know if that's a metaphor for something there, Stephen, but it works.
Yeah.
2:10 to play. Nate Clare with a nice move. Shoots high as it comes off the end wall right back to Team England. And Albert Whitehead, he'll make a change as he hustles to the English bench. And for Team England, you know, a team that's been on the world scene for a while now, Stephen, and I know we wanted to mention, you talked to Walt for an extended conversation yesterday about how England has finally started to realize they need to get behind their box team like they do their field program.
Yes, so they've started, I mean, they had for the first time camps in the north and the south to try out for this team. They had a bunch of players that Walt Christensen brought to the E-Box tourney and the Alice Rabeski in Prague in April as a tryout for them to try and get onto this team. And he is really reaching out, trying to get the best young field lacrosse players involved in the box game. And nationally, they're looking at getting support from from UK lacrosse, which is coming. Things are developing. There's a delayed penalty here coming.
The Queen's on board is what you're telling me, Steve.
She is on board.
Love it.
Buckingham Palace is with the program.
Let's go. Union Jack, you name it. And penalty call coming here to England as we're into the final minute of day 4. Big day tomorrow, however. You want to run down the lineup for tomorrow's game action? I know I told them we got England, USA, Canada, Iroquois at night here What other games we got on deck tomorrow?
Yeah, things get rolling in the morning with Netherlands versus Hong Kong, which is actually a very important game.
That's going to be a good one.
Right here at 10:30, Slovakia and Germany over in the field house at the early game. Then the 1:30 games here is Ireland versus Switzerland. At field house is Costa Rica and Sweden. And then, like you said, 4:30 England USA here. Across at the field house, Austria and Australia. And then Canada and Iroquois here. And in the less desirable slot against that one in the Nielsen ratings is the Czech Republic versus Scotland over at the Fieldhouse.
I don't know who's calling that one, but I don't know how many people are going to be watching it either, because I think all eyes will be on Iroquois and Canada as the final buzzer sounds to end this one. And the Iroquois Nationals win it by 14 as they outshoot England 69-27. Your final score 19-5. Players of the game for each team, Stephen Stamp.
Shall we look at the scorers just to support our decision here?
Well, I kind of like to pick before you look at the scores.
Okay.
And then see if we were kind of on the right page.
I like Kyle Jackson a lot in this game.
I like Kyle Jackson as well.
And for England, Lyndon Bunio.
I concur. I think you're 2 for 2 there, Stamper.
Thank you.
And
Shall we look
sure.
to support?
Now I will allow you to get onto the World Wide Web.
Iroquois, Kyle Jackson, 4 goals, 3 assists. Leading the way by 2 points for Iroquois. So he passes the eye test and the stats test. Lyndon Bunio, 2 goals and an assist. The only English player with more than a point.